um, wh- which obviously didn't happen uh, because of Donnie's schedule. But we had a pretty stiff rainstorm here a couple days ago, and it measured about 6/10 of an inch on my rain gauge anyway. And I kept a good eye on the pumps, and it did a pretty good job. There was maybe 4 inches of standing water down in front of the welcome center, and maybe it just came up to the curb, and it was gone quickly. And then that was a little half-inch rainstorm burst, and then we had a lull, and then we had another little burst, and the pump. The standing water was gone in a heartbeat, and there was nothing left to. Nothing accumulated after the second little burst. So there was a pretty intense little storm that, the pump did a darn good job, I thought. And I was, back and forth with Donnie. He was asking how it was going. And he says that probably he can tweak it a little bit. He can lower the sensor to where it's a little lower in the pit, and it'll, click on faster where
Mm.
the water level hits it.
I was just going to ask that. Yeah.
So I think, Gary, there's some tweaking that they can do. He can do that. We haven't had the big gully washer yet, but I'm sure we'll have it.
Yeah. Do you know, is the original pump also now in parallel with the two added pumps? So do we have like 3 pumps running? Do you have any?
As far as I know, Gary, I think that's, when everything is operational, yes.
Okay.
Donnie was telling me something about he had to do with the old existing pump. So I don't know if that's, working at the current moment, but I think in a perfect world, when everything's working, we'll have all three go.
Yeah. Good.
So.
That's great that you could see a noticeable difference.
Oh yeah, because a half-inch rainstorm like that in the past, and I'd have it creeping up, into my garage when it comes down that fast. So
it's great.
Yeah, keep the fingers crossed, that it,
too.
can keep going on that way. So anyway, Donnie said that he would likely schedule the demo for sometime next month, maybe next month's meeting. And, he wanted to, and Lauren wanted to invite some folks, certainly any council member that could attend, and the mayor, and maybe some of our colleagues in Chesapeake Beach who might be interested. So, kind of watch this space, and we'll see what.
So Dave, would the demo include a pump that's running, or just looking at it?
Oh no, I think we ought to, I think the intention is to, show the thing in action. I mean, I don't know how much water that tube, that pipe collects over.
I see. Yeah, I see.
But there's
Okay.
also the control panel. I mean, this is nerdy stuff, but the control panel, it's like working on an iPad. You just push this button up, and Donnie can manage that from down on his home in Adelina. So it's just kind of cool. Plus, we've been working at this for 2.5 years, 3 years. So
3 years,
we gotta
probably.
go down and autograph our names on the control panel.
Why not?
Why not?
It's a big accomplishment. It was a lot went into that. So
Yeah, and the town is to be lauded too for their efforts. So
Yeah.
So anyway, and I guess next on the agenda is any planning, and I wish Lauren and Donnie were here, but we have the April 20 meeting coming up, when we'll have Bayland give us the public give the presentation on the plan, on the final plan. And I assume that Bayland has done all they need to do to the plan. I mean, I don't know that any of us have we haven't seen the final final thing yet. So I guess they're still working on it, but April 20 is coming up pretty soon. So I suspect we'll see the final plan here pretty soon. And Carol, I know you wanted to, talk about, just what the logistics were or what the thinking was around the report and the public presentation. So,
Well, yeah, just, well, I know Bayland's working on a PowerPoint
right.
meeting, which, I guess I think we'll probably have it within a week, because we're gonna have to take a look at it and
Yeah.
go through it. And then at the meeting, are we gonna structure it? Well, I know we also said we're gonna send that deck to the, attach it with the meeting note or put it on the website or whatever, distribute it to the public
Right.
like a week prior to the meeting. So
Right.
then at the meeting, are we structuring it the way we did before, which was Bayland did their presentation? People could ask questions and make comments during the talk, or did we have them hold? I'm trying to remember. I don't think you were there, Dave. Did we have them hold till the end? Do you guys remember?
I was there, and I'm having a senior moment, but I think
They did at the end. They did the
yeah,
questions.
I'm just trying
We
to
did
think
it at the end.
if they broke it up into sections and they went through this and said, anyone have any questions, then we'll move on or something like that. But there's so much to cover here that
Right.
for them, it might be wise to cover a section and then see if there are any questions and then move on,
Right.
One thing that we had our staff meeting this morning, and so the presentation came up, and Donnie and the mayor and myself were just said a few words about it. But one thing that Donnie may have said if he were here on this meeting was an idea would be to ask the public for questions or input and have them send it. I'm sorry, I'm jumping ahead. Any questions that maybe, or answers that weren't covered in the April 20th meeting, prior to them finalizing the document, have any other questions and input by like May 1st that residents could submit by then. Maybe if you guys want to do that for this meeting, could they send things ahead of time so that Bayland has the questions, and it might make it quicker is all we were thinking.
well, they certainly could. They're going to get the report hopefully a couple days prior to the meeting, and enough time to digest it. That's certainly possible.
So they
Yeah.
can,
Keep that, yeah, so if we have the document, like you said, if we put it on our website ahead of time, maybe consider asking for questions and input prior
Yeah.
to the.
And
April
send
20th.
out a blast ahead of time that,
Yeah.
it says, here's the report. You can also find it on the website, send your questions in, if you have any, and we'll, address them at the meeting as best we can,
Yeah, that's also an opportunity for those that can't make that meeting. They can also
Right.
give their input. So if that has to happen ahead of time or on the website, just let me know and I can take care of it.
Yeah.
Do we have an idea of how much time ahead of the meeting that the public will be able to review the report?
Well, we want to give as much time as we can, Bob. We have to get the thing in our hands first.
well, the meeting is in 9 days, right? Is it the 20th?
Right.
It's in 9 days and we haven't seen it. So maybe we
So,
get an
yeah.
ETA from Bayland, or we haven't seen the PowerPoint. Maybe we should get an ETA from Bayland, because it's probably gonna be less than a week, right? That it goes out to the public. I doubt it,
Mhm.
because we're gonna probably get it and have some comments.
So
Yeah.
would the public get the PowerPoint or the actually entire report? Is that what you're suggesting?
Well, I think they get the report.
The entire final report, okay. Mhm.
Yeah, well, or this version thereof. Because there may be some things that come up in the public meeting that we may want Bayland to address in the final report. There may be some public commentary or some commentary from the council or something that, you know, they may need to address. I don't know that it may be major, but it may be enough that they may need to put out yet one more version or something. Just
So-
give them.
So I want to make sure I got that straight. So the document so we send out a blast and say, you know, the meeting is in, I don't know, Bob, I can't imagine we're going to get it out much more than 3 or 4 days before the meeting. But so the blast comes out and says, here's a link to the report. Are you saying it would be the full report? I was thinking that it would be we would have the full report available as well, but the one that we're directing the general population to would be the PowerPoint that Bayland's going to be running through on the 20th, just because the other one's going to be hard for people to digest quickly. Not that they wouldn't both be available, but which focusing the public to, directing them to.
So
Yeah,
my,
I would
my-
vote for the whole report. So I'm sorry. Go ahead, Elena.
no, sorry. I mean, my 2 cents are just either we do both, which I'm really not an advocate of, or we do the presentation. I think either way, the presentation is easier to follow just because it's in presentation mode. And we can reference that it's coming from the report. Could we have the report available, and then if folks want to go into it, have that posted?
That
But
was, yeah. Sorry. Yeah, that's more what I mean, that was kind of my thinking. But I'm happy to do whatever, but
yeah,
that
me too.
we direct them to the PowerPoint shorter one, but that the bigger one is also available for reference. But you know, this might be one that we also need Lauren and Donnie to weigh in on.
Yeah,
What else
Yeah.
think?
they may have already discussed something with the mayor or the council. I would vote for the whole thing myself.
I mean, there's no harm done if folks are getting both. That's what you're saying, Dave?
Yeah,
Right.
And then there's no comment of, you know, we didn't know.
oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'll pose this to, or tell Donnie and Lauren that we would advocate sending out as much info out to the public ahead of time with as much lead time as we can get. And I think Donnie is actually the point of contact with Bayland, so they don't have, 5 or 6 of us, all asking them for things. So I'll give a note to Donnie that, maybe they need a little reminder that we want to send this out ahead of time so they
And
can.
need to look at it also. I
We
mean, but
need-
I agree. If there's a way to send both, give people access to both documents.
Are they gonna record the presentation that we could also kind of post on the website, just so the people who missed it can watch
Yeah,
after?
Right.
I mean, do they typically record those meetings as a as a matter of standard operating procedure? I don't even know, actually.
I don't either. I sat in on a Chesapeake Beach presentation a while ago, and they had all of theirs easily accessible from the website. And I think that North Beach, I'm not sure where that location is, where there are all the recorded meetings, but I think that would be
I'm
useful.
sorry, I stepped away for a second. Are you guys asking about are all of our meetings recorded?
The
Yeah,
20th, the one on the 20th, would that be recorded?
Yeah, yes, the last time they were there, we recorded that also, so that we could, and then afterwards, I shared that link to the recording so that people could refer to it.
Great.
And then as far as people submitting questions, so we're going to give them an opportunity ahead of time. Then they can also ask questions during the meeting, of time permitting in sections. And then we'll give them till May 1st or a deadline date that if they have questions or comments, that they have to do them by May 1st then, right? So there's sort of 3 times when we're, letting them know of their opportunity to make comments.
Mhm.
right?
Yep. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be there in person. I'm going to be visiting my son and his family in El Paso, so I'll be there in virtually.
Okay.
So carry on, all of you.
Do you want me to make action item notes, or are you gonna do that virtually?
Maybe I could get you to pinch hit for me because not being there and maybe if the audio is bad or I can't follow the audio, I won't be very successul. So that would be great if you could.
If the audio is bad, you need to give me a heads up so I can make a change.
Okay.
Okay, I'll make sure that I record, especially if there's any public comments or questions or concerns that happen right there, we'll have them, so we don't have to go back and listen. We'll have,
Cool.
in addition to going back and listening.
Thank you for that. Appreciate it. Anything else about April 20 that comes to mind for anyone? Okay. Well, the other item, next item on the agenda was to get a sense from Tom Letke how we're doing on the grant submissions. But Tom isn't here. I haven't heard from him. I don't know if anyone else has
He's gone kind of dark.
in terms of an update. So we'll table that for next time. And I did see a note about the Nature Center opening. And I neglected to put down when that is. Dawn, do you?
Yeah, April 22nd. Yeah, the Nature Center ribbon cutting is at 1, and then immediately following that would be the Earth Day celebration until 4 p.m.
Okay. Well, those of us in the neighborhood and available might want to slip down and give our environmental brethren our support. Yeah. If you make it, it would be great. Any new business? I have one item. Dawn was smart enough to send me a note that said April is Flood Awareness Month. So this seems like a good opportunity to send out a little note to folks in the town via the blast text of some of the resources the state has available, include a few URLs. Plus, we have a new Fifth Street pump that's up and running, and we have a flood action plan that will be unveiled to the public on April 20. So I'm going to draft something for the committee's review, and I'll get that. I'll try to do that before the end of business tomorrow, and send it out and have your review, and then we'll forward it on to Dawn, and she can do her magic with it.
Well, it's convenient that it's flood month and we're coming up with activities about floods.
Yeah.
It's almost like we planned it that way.
I know.
We did.
Just as long as there's no actual, right?
Yeah, we don't want to flood. Yeah.
Right,
We
right.
don't want to flood now.
Any other new business that anyone wants to bring up?
This could be a record for the shortest meeting ever, Dave.
I know. I'm going to tell Donnie that too. When he's not here,
Yeah, there's no Lauren and no Donnie.
Right. So
Yeah, that's why it's quick.
that's why it's quick.
Both
Just a
long-winded.
just a handful of Pinocchios.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. All right. Well, I'm sorry I'm going to miss you guys on the 20th because it's going to be a big deal, but I'll be listening in. So, enjoy it, and I know it'll go well. And I'll bring Donnie and Lauren up to date on this stuff, and we'll see you around the quad. Huh?
Okay.
Cool.
great.
Bye.
Cheers. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Safe
Bye,
travels,
guys.
Dave.
Bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.